Speaking, by the way,
Beep, boop, beep, beep, boop, beep. All right, guys. This is from Matt Walsh, and he's going to elegantly. Do both of those words work? I don't know. But he's going to explain to us why gay marriage, it just cannot exist. Which is interesting because it literally does exist. So I'm curious. All right, this is probably going to be one of the most intellectually challenged videos. All right, let's watch it.
speaking, by the way, of the, I guess the front runner.
At least we're being open about it now. We're all just like, yeah, we just don't want gay marriage again. Remember, like conservatives, some of them. I know a lot of conservatives that are fine with gay marriage. Okay, there are a lot of normal people in the world that understand the separation of church and state. They understand that once the government decided to attach benefits to marriage, that everybody has access to it. Very basic stuff. I mean, like literally a child can understand. But some conservatives, like Ted Cruz, are like, yep, we should repeal all the Supreme Court protections for it. And because, you know, and we should let the states choose. It sounds so nice when you say it like that. We should allow the states to choose. Why? Shut the fuck up. Just because you're trying to deny human rights in a way that sounds like you're being a nice person doesn't mean you're not trying to deny basic human rights. It's pathetic. But conservatives are getting very bold. And let's watch. Let's see.
Democrat frontrunner Pete Buttigieg, he had some thoughts recently. He was on State of the Union on CNN, and he had some thoughts about the Republicans who do not favor federally codifying the redefinition of marriage. Now,
my understanding, and I could be a little bit wrong, is that like 157 Republican House members, I believe, denied the codification of gay marriage, right? So like if this is the thing. So what happens is I believe it's still passed in the House. It has to go to Senate, all this other bullshit. Who cares? Nerd. Who even wants to understand our system? Nerds. Anyway. So with conservatives publicly supporting the idea, like Ted Cruz, which is a pretty prominent conservative, supporting the idea of overturning the particular Supreme Court rulings that protect gay marriage, and with overruling Roe v. Wade, now, like, of course, Democrats are like, hey, we should just codify this so, like, it can't be overturned, which is what they should have done with abortion. I think they tried to, but the conservatives kept turning it down. But I can't imagine, like, I mean, this was, like, over 30 or 40 or 50 years or whatever, so they probably could have done it. They were just being lazy. But, yeah, it's crazy. It's pathetic.
there are plenty of Republicans, as we saw in the House, that were on board with it. But
yeah, like 57, I think. I think it was 157 against it, 57 onto it. So there's a lot of them that weren't onto it.
but then,
So like basically 3/4 of the Republicans in the House were like, no, thank you. Right? I'm pretty sure those numbers are accurate.
but the majority still were not. And Pete Buttigieg is very offended and personally hurt by that. And here he is.
Oh, wow. Like, you have a little stank on that. Pete Buttigieg is gay. I imagine a gay person would be personally offended by you trying to deny gay people rights. Right? Personally, I'm not personally offended because I'm not gay. Right? I default mode, bro. I was born default. You should have just made your Skyrim character straight, Pete. Okay, that's what I did. I don't know why you'd choose hard mode. If you didn't choose white man straight, you chose the hard way. All right, when you created your character, and that's your fault, not mine. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm just fucking around. Of course, he's gonna be upset.
Explaining why.
This is really, really important to a lot of people.
I agree. Yeah.
It's certainly important to me. I started my day as I try to do on weekends.
And I just want to say I have gay family, so like if this happened, I would be outraged. But I don't have personal connection to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be upset. I'm not offended for myself. But it's like it's bullshit, you know?
I try to give Chasten a little bit of a break and do breakfast with both of our twins. That alone, that's no small thing, as every parent of small kids knows. It was one of those days where the tray table wasn't quite fitting into the high chair, and I'm trying to make sure that they're busy enough with their little cereal puffs to give me enough time to chop up the banana and get the formula ready. And
wow, sounds like gay marriage is just as boring as straight marriage. I guess we are all equal.
And it just
codify is like it puts it into law, basically, like code, makes it permanent, so it doesn't have to. So like gay marriage, the reason that it's federally legal is because of a Supreme Court ruling. That's like sets the standard for the entire country. So like, codifying it basically means that you just make it into law that it's a human right that's protected. This way, if the Supreme Court overturns those particular rulings that protect the human right to get married for gay people, they still are able to be protected.
I don't know, that half hour my morning had me thinking about how much I depend on and count on my spouse every day. And our marriage deserves to be treated equally. And I don't know why this would be hard for a senator or a congressman. I don't understand how such a majority of House Republicans voted no on our marriage on as recently as Tuesday, hours after I was in a room with a lot of them talking about transportation policy, having what I thought were perfectly normal conversations with many of them on that subject, only for them to go around the corner and say that my marriage doesn't deserve to continue. If they don't want to spend a lot of time on this, they can vote yes and move on. And that would be really reassuring for a lot of families around America, including mine.
A couple of things here. First of all, this guy's such an egomaniac. I mean, they all...
What? What do you mean? I'm not... What do you mean he's an ego? Hey, what the... How do you even say that? Yeah, I was sitting in a room talking about laws, and they were being nice to me, but then they were like, we don't want you to be treated like a human, and I was like, that made me sad. That's a pretty I feel like that's normal. Imagine being in a room with like 100 people, and then you're talking to them, you're like, hey, you're cool, and then behind their back, they were like, yeah, we just want that guy dead. Not actually dead. We just don't want this guy here anymore. But they pretended to, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you talking about? They're trying to deny him his human right to get married. It's constitutional right. Yeah, you want rights? You're an egomaniac. This guy's unhinged. Dude, even if you don't like gay people getting married, you're wrong. But was that egotistical? Could you at least understand why why people are just like, this sucks? Like, wouldn't you understand? Right? Like you like, even if you don't like gay people, how could you call him an egomaniac? You'd probably think he was disgusting because you're a bigoted piece of shit, but you wouldn't think he's an egomaniac. You would be like, yeah, I see why he's trying to protect his rights, but gay people existing makes my penis hard, and I gotta pray the gay away. How am I gonna do that when I have a hot, beautiful man in front of me dating another man? I'm so jealous. You know what I mean? Like, I get where you're coming from. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Okay, well, I don't get where you're coming from, but you understand what I'm telling you.
All are, but especially this guy. And a couple of things here. First of all, this guy's such an egomaniac. I mean, they all are, but
who's they? Politicians or gay people?
But especially this guy, and it's even more grating with him because there's just no basis for his ego. Like, it has nothing to rest on, no accomplishments to rest on at all. He's like a small town mayor who runs for president, fails spectacularly, and then is given an appointment. A cabinet appointment for no reason other than the fact that he checks a couple of identity boxes.
Maybe. I mean, I remember when people were just, okay. I just want you to listen. Okay, so here's the thing. When you're running for president, right, and you could argue that this is wrong, but when you see that you might be dropping out of the race, what some people will do is they'll make a thing called a deal. I don't know if you've ever heard of these, Matt Walsh. So Joe Biden's like, hey, I'll make you the whatever. I think he's like something to do with transportation. I'll make you the fucking president of cheese if you will publicly support me, so that your people will support me, right? So like when you're in like the primaries and you're voting on which annoying Democrat to win. Gang 2024. Forgot what year it was. Anyway, all jokes aside, I do like Andrew Yang, but anyway. What happens is, like, let's say that there's like 10 people and one of them's going to drop off, right? But they have like a good amount of people supporting them. So a president or somebody will go to them and say like, hey, listen, like, can you throw your weight behind me and say, hey, I'm bowing out because like, you're going to lose, but I support Joe Biden. That's what happens. And then he says, if you do support me, I'll give you like a job. I'll make you the mayor of cheese, right? That's how it works, right? So when we say, well, it's just an identity box, I don't think it has anything to do with him being fucking gay. It has this is just the way that the system works. You could argue it's bad, probably, but this is how these things work. So you're pretending it has anything to do with him being gay, but it's because he was popular enough to garner enough support where Biden's like, I'll give you a job if you throw your weight behind me so I can win the Democratic primaries and then have a chance at being president. I mean, it's so basic. And Matt Walsh probably knows this, but he just hates gay people, I think. And you might be like, Papa God, do you really think the guy who's trying to ban gay marriage and calling a gay guy egotistical for defending himself, do you really think he hates gay people? And if you're thinking that, why? What's wrong with you? Probably just hates gay people. I mean, we're seeing the signs in front of our fucking eyes. He fucking... And then you think, well, he probably doesn't hate them, Papa God. Yeah, he just thinks that they're like less than. You're right. That's not hatred. What is that, pity? He doesn't think gay people deserve human rights. Okay? That's it.
And so that's it. He's the transportation secretary. But he says, oh, they voted on my marriage? No, they weren't voting on your marriage.
Yes, they were.
Egomaniac. That's not
what do you say were they were voting on? Like, okay, his marriage would be protected because like whatever state he lives in probably is going to maintain it. But who cares? He's like, they're basically voting on his, like, fundamentally his marriage. Like, they're voting on whether that should be protected or not federally. So, like, what do you mean, you ego? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Let's say that there was some kind of a law that probably exists, but like, let's say that historically, religious people in America were persecuted, right? And then there was a Supreme Court ruling that said, hey, you know what? Just because people are religious doesn't mean they're not people. And that was the only thing in every state protecting them as people. Then over time, some states were like, you know what? I like religious people. And other states were like, I don't like them, but the federal government protects them, so I guess I have to treat them a little bit like people and allow them to do things. All of a sudden, let's say half the states like them enough to keep them treated like people, and the other half of the states don't, right? So they have these things, I think, called like shotgun laws, where the second that the Supreme Court case is overturned, which happened with abortion, a bunch of states instantly have a law that bans it. Right? And now let's say in New York, they were like, yeah, religious people are people too. And then somebody in New York's like, yeah, when the federal government, when Republicans were threatening, or let's say Democrats in this case, let's say they're threatening to persecute religious people, and they're like, yeah, they're voting on my ability to be a human. You're like, well, technically you would be fine because you live in New York and they like them there, but we just want to have a choice of where we should treat people like human beings. What the hell are you talking about, bro? What do you want? What do you want? Drugs? You fucking out? What do you want? What are you doing?
what the vote was. There wasn't a bill on the docket. What do you think of Pete Buttigieg's marriage?
This is insane. There's no way that he's bro. This is like, dude, you can't even. There's no way people even agree with you. This isn't even like subtle. You're just boldly being fucking like homophobic.
No, specifically, it's about should the federal government redefine marriage?
No, it's about yes, I guess. Yes, should the federal government protect gay people? But should the federal government uphold the separation of church and state? That's it. There's no non-religious argument to not get married. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Should we codify the redefinition of marriage on a federal level? That was
you like how he's saying redefinition? Just say it, Matt. Should we codify gay people being able to get married? He won't even own it.
Question that they were answering, and some of them said no, as they should have said.
Why?
And by the way, the people who answer no to that,
yeah.
Well, there's a number of reasons why you might answer no specifically to the question of should the federal government codify.
There's none, unless you're a religious zealot. I'm not trying to be an asshole, because every religious person I know is 100% okay with gay marriage, okay? Every conservative I know is 100% okay with gay marriage, okay? It's not everybody's fucking insane. Not every conservative is insane, but you make it look like it. There's no non-religious reason. We already have a separation of church and state. Like, you're objectively incorrect. I don't know what you want me to tell you. You would always vote yes, even if you don't like gay people, because you understand that there's no non-religious argument. You're fucking insane. Well, what did I do? My head went away. Whoa, my brain exploded.
But for the people who are critics,
yeah, smarter people than you, yeah,
of the whole, of the redefinition of marriage on any level.
You see how he's not saying it? It's a ban on gay marriage. That's what it is. Just say it. Be a fucking man about it. If you're gonna be this kind of, you're being a pussy.
They're not saying that your marriage doesn't deserve to continue.
Yes, you are. You are. If you are against the codification of gay marriage, You are saying you are against your marriage continuing. But the best thing that you can settle for right now is banning it in the state that you come from. Every single person who votes against codifying gay marriage, who votes against making gay marriage a protected thing, you don't want it to exist anywhere, but you have to play the nice guy game where it's like, I just don't want it in my state. But if you could fucking choose, you would ban it across the country. There is no other explanation. This is an insane perspective from an absolute fucking moron. There's no other explanation. And if you're going to be a dumb fuck, at least be a fucking man about it. Yeah, I don't like gay people. They shouldn't get married. Okay, at least we know. At least now we know you're just being you're owning you being a piece of shit, but you're pretending not to. It's insane. Okay?
What they're saying is that your marriage can't exist because marriage is a particular thing. And your relationship does not fall into that category. That's the argument.
Okay, explain, Matt.
Now, I realize that's still going to offend you and make you upset. But
well, not really, because you're dancing around it like a fucking coward. Like, I mean, this is what that's going to offend you. You're not even saying anything. Why? How are you going to, like, it's so funny that he's pretending that everyone else will get offended when he doesn't even have the balls to just say what it is. You shouldn't get married because you're gay and I'm religious. If you're going to be a bigot, at least own it, but don't tell everybody else that they're going to be so offended when you don't even have the fucking balls to announce what you think. You're the one that's offended. You're the coward. Like, just say it.
But that is the argument. And it's actually a really important distinction.
Wow. Thanks, Matt. This is so nuanced.
As I tried to explain last week, and as many people have attempted to explain.
Let's hear it.
This is all a question of definition.
Okay. Keep going,
and the
brother.
idea for thousands of years is that marriage, by definition, is an in-principle procreative union between a man and a woman.
Not anymore, bitch. Listen, when the government decided to give people benefits for getting married, then that's when it became a government thing. And we fundamentally do this thing, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, called separation of church and state. Once that was instituted, that's it. You're done. We're good. That's it. Sorry. Okay, dude, you're insane. You're literally asking to go against the fundamental values of America. This is nuts.
And it serves as the foundation of the family, which serves as the foundation of human society. That was the answer. That was the definition. That's what it was.
Wow. Okay. So then how come we aren't forcing people who get married to have babies? Because by this logic, what you're saying is anybody who's infertile, man, woman, anybody that's infertile, you can't get married. You legally cannot get married, guys. If you don't have a baby within the first year of you getting married, you have to get a divorce because it's specifically and exclusively to have babies, guys. That's it. It's about babies. So if you're not popping out a fucking kid, you can't get married. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
That's it. And then people like Pete Buttigieg came along and said, well, it's not that anymore. And then the question in response has always been, well, then what is it if it's not that? Pete Buttigieg hasn't answered that question. He says, well, my marriage deserves to be treated equal to other marriages. Well, but equal means the same.
Yes. Yes, Matt, thank you. Equal does mean the same. Thank you so much.
Pete, and is it the same?
Well, check this out, guys. No two marriage will ever be the same. Is it the same because you're gay? Is it the same because you're white? Is it the same because you're tall? Is it the same because you're short? Is it the same because you're infertile? Is it the same because you have ADHD? Is it the same because you're missing a toe? Is it the same because your penis is 5 inches? Isn't it the same because the depth of your vagina is 2.5 millimeters? Like, what? Who fucking cares about the hyperspecifics? Who cares? What are you talking? It's not the same. Just say you hate gay people. Oh my God.
Is your relationship with Chasen is it the same as, is it in principle, in its substance, in its function, is it the same as my relationship with my wife? And the answer is no.
No, Matt, and my relationship isn't the same either with my wife, okay? Because I'm actually not a gay person pretending to be straight, okay? And that's not an insult. It's okay to be gay. Clearly, you've gaslit yourself into thinking that you're straight. It's not the same, brother. All right? I pump my wife full of 10 cc's every night. What are you doing? Sorry, honey, I have the headache tonight. What are you fucking talking about? Shut the fuck up.
Because my relationship with my wife has the potential.
Listen, I'm not trying to be that guy, but it's always the most feminine looking guys who are like the most against gay marriage. Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro. Like, I feel like you guys might have some urges, bro. I feel like you guys might, and like, that's okay, but I feel like it's, I don't know. I guess I just don't see like real like masculine guys that are like, I hate gay marriage. They just don't fucking care. It's always the dudes, I don't know. Tucker, yeah, kind of. Listen, bro, I'm not saying it as an insult. I'm just saying I think you're coping very hard. Okay?
Potential to create new human beings.
Whoa.
And yours doesn't. So
who cares? We have so many kids in foster care that need like loving homes because it's like our foster care system is so broken and abusive. Or leads to abuse. Who cares? That's one of the things about gay people. They adopt at disproportionately high rates. Like, isn't that a good thing? Before you're like, I don't think gay people should have kids. Like, Pete Buttigieg has money. So does his husband. Like, who fucking cares? What do you think that they're not gonna raise their kid to be a fucking demon spawn? Gay people are normal. Hot take, guys. Oh no. Okay. Just because you might watch Libs of TikTok all day and you think every gay person is like kind of like a weirdo from Libs of TikTok, that's not every gay. Well, go outside and touch grass. Every gay person I met is fucking normal. Okay? Except they're all attracted to me, of course. How couldn't you be? But seriously, they're all fucking normal. They're not going to raise their kids like animals. Like, who cares? Shut the fuck up. Like, it's just insane.
That is a difference.
Wow.
Right? That's a difference. We can all agree.
Wow.
No question about it. That's a
Oh my God. You're right. We should ban anybody who's infertile from getting married.
difference. Is it an important difference?
And no, it's not.
Is it a definitional difference?
Maybe, but who cares? Separation of church and state.
I would say absolutely it is.
Wow. Great.
Of course it is.
Wow. So nice.
But even putting all that to the side, he says that, well, how could we talk about, they would sit and talk about transportation policy with me and then go and vote the way they did.
Yeah, they would talk about, let's reframe that the right way. They would sit and talk about transportation policy and then vote to deny my fundamental, like, basic, like, human right. Oh, I wonder, wow. So, like, how would you not be offended, Matt?
Why should, so what? So they can't talk about, you cannot have a productive conversation about transportation policy with someone unless they agree with your definition of marriage?
Unless they agree that you're a human being that deserves the same protections. The way that you're framing it is pathetic. You're a fucking loser. Holy shit.
Unless they affirm your relationship as a marriage, you can't talk to them about transportation policy. See, that's your problem. That's your hang up. It's not theirs. I guess for those Republicans, they figured, yeah, okay, well, I might not agree with this, but we can still talk about transportation. Why can't we?
Well, it's really easy to like be so nonchalant about denying people like basic human rights.
You're the one who sets down kind of the ground rules here and says, well, you have to agree with everything about my lifestyle or we can't talk about anything.
Bro, it's not about a lifestyle. It's about human rights. Dude, this is insane.
That's your problem.
Okay.
That's you deciding to do that.
Wow, what a pussy segment. Incredible.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Matt Walsh Show. If you did, be sure to subscribe to this.
That was abysmal dog shit. Wow, how do the comments look? Yeah, this is a good point. Marriage lost all its meaning when divorce and illegitimate children became normalized. Sure, probably true. What is marriage? The sequel to What is a Woman? These people are really self-reporting with this What is marriage shit. The state doesn't recognize marriage based on the state of reproduction. Your religion may disagree, but yeah, okay. These, yeah, I think people are disagreeing with them. Wow, Matt's getting fucking blasted for being a fucking homophobe. Okay. Yeah. Oh, people are mostly against them. Yeah, people are like, you're going too far, Matt. Wow, Matt Walsh, you dumb fuck. Okay, cool stuff. Cool beans, guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.